Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Friends of a teen accused killer come to his defense. Thanks for joining us tonight. Zachary St. Clair is a 16-year-old facing first-degree premeditated murder charges. Court documents say he confessed to beating a 55-year-old man to death.
St. Clair says he was being raped by the murder victim, Bradley Carrington, for at least 3 years. Friends say the police didn't do anything about it. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson has more details.
The friends I communicated with say Zachary St. Clair filed police reports detailing being raped by Bradley Carrington. That's why St. Clair beat him to death, according to court documents. Those same friends wonder why police didn't do anything about the alleged sexual assault. Moorhead police aren't able to tell Valley News Live if there are any of these police reports friends are talking about, saying if they are, they're part of the investigation and can't comment. While police continue to search for another man they believe is connected, St. Clair and his mom voluntarily went to the police department for an interview. In the documents, St. Clair says after being raped for years, he thought and planned how he would kill Carrington. On Saturday, while drinking with Carrington here at this trailer home, St. Clair says he saw his opportunity. Court documents go on to say he struck Carrington with his fists, then kicked him in the head multiple times, killing Carrington, then leaving. In court, St. Clair hid his face, clearly distraught, and spoke quietly while family members got emotional. St. Clair is facing a premeditated murder charge in the first degree, punishable up to life in prison without parole. The only crime severe enough for a 16-year-old to be forced into adult court. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
For St. Clair, bail was set at $750,000. Moorhead police, meanwhile, still looking for another man they believe connected to that murder. If you see 20-year-old Anthony Rodriguez, there's his picture. Call police. They say not to approach him. Police recovered the car they believe he was driving in Fargo, thanks to people calling in tips.
It's turning into a very busy week for Grand Forks police. They're still hunting for suspects in the weekend armed robbery of a restaurant. And early this morning, Kmart was burglarized. The suspect was already gone when police arrived on the scene after an alarm had been activated. It still hasn't been determined how the burglar entered the store. There were no signs of a forced entry. Police say that the quality surveillance video inside the store never showed the suspect's face, and it was always shadowed by a hoodie.
They're still working with Kmart to establish exactly what was stolen, but certainly it was indicated that some electronics and jewelry were stolen.
Meanwhile, the investigation of an armed robbery Saturday night at Qdoba Mexican Grill on 32nd Avenue continues. Investigators say they're working on a couple of leads, but they don't have a clear surveillance photo of the suspects, who are described as African-American with ski masks over their faces. If you have any information about either of these cases, you're asked to call Grand Forks Police directly at 701-787-8000.
Loving our fall weather these days. They've been really a treat. Let's find out about tonight's conditions from our chief meteorologist. Hutch?
Well, for most of us, it's going to be a very quiet evening. We do have some winds that have been gusty from time to time, and it's temperature-wise looking quite nice into the evening. Along and south of Interstate 94, we stay in the 60s for the next hour or so. 50s already up to the north. It's been a little bit of a cooler day, and the radar does show that we have a few sprinkles for our neighbors up along the international border that will be moving eastward overnight, but most of us stay dry this evening. South winds could gust as high as 20 miles per hour. Be prepared for that. Some bigger changes, though, in the extended forecast. Some significant rain for many of us. I'll have details on when and where here in just a few moments.
Things are getting dry around here.
They are.
All right, thanks.
A deadly officer-involved shooting in Fort Taunton was justified. That from North Dakota's U.S. Attorney today. Joseph Charbonneau was shot and killed by Bureau of Indian Affairs officer Terry Morgan in June. The investigation finds while officers were executing a search warrant for someone else, Charbonneau was found under a blanket with a loaded gun. Officers say Charbonneau also had a blowtorch during a short standoff, and after refusing to drop his weapons, Charbonneau was shot by Officer Morgan. The final investigation says because he posed a threat to officers and another person in the home, The use of deadly force was appropriate. The Grand Forks Police Department wants you to know about a high-risk sex offender who has changed addresses. 28-year-old Michael McGee is now living at 18th North Washington Street. McGee was convicted of aggravated sexual assault in 2003 and is under the supervision of the North Dakota Department of Corrections. Authorities say McGee and an accomplice entered a woman's bedroom, held her down, and forcibly raped her. McGee was 15 years old when he raped the woman and is deemed as a high-risk sex offender.
A West Fargo woman wants more people aware of how to handle children with autism. She contacted us after she grabbed a 5-year-old boy that was running into traffic on 13th Avenue in West Fargo. The boy had wandered away from his family that was nearby. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop looks into how you can help a person with autism if they are alone and wandering.
Along this busy stretch of 13th Avenue is where Sherry Paraska grabbed a 5-year-old boy.
We were able to corral him. I picked him up and he did not want to be held. He wasn't crying or screaming, but he was definitely trying to fight me to get away.
Paraska says the boy would only repeat words she would say and thought he was younger than 5.
I knew there was something wrong, yes, but I was still just looking for a parent.
A short time later, the child was reunited with his parents, and Paraska learned that the boy had autism and was wandering, also known as elopement, according to the National Autism Association.
It made perfect sense. I wish that I had more education and I would have known a little better.
According to the Aware Collaboration, a website working to prevent wandering incidents and deaths, about 49% of children with autism wander away from their environment. The National Autism Association says if you see a child in dangerous situations, step in and call 911. In West Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
A local mother of an autistic child that wanders suggests if people come upon a child wandering, to stay with them if possible and alert authorities immediately. Well, this week is National Teen Driver Safety Week. Research from Michelin found that the majority of American teens are confident in their own driving skills, but do not feel safe when someone else is at the wheel. So this week, Michelin Tire is encouraging you to share your best safety driving tips with the hashtag #SharingSafety. And what are your safe driving tips? Share them on our Facebook page as well. While you're there, hit the like button by doing this. You'll get all of the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed.
In a special meeting today, the Board of Directors for the Fargo-Moorhead Convention and Visitors Bureau unanimously passed a resolution backing the FM flood diversion as designed or modified by the Corps of Engineers. President and CEO Charlie Johnson tells us some members of the business community urged the board to take a stand on the diversion. The statement the board agreed to allows for some wiggle room in terms of where the diversion may ultimately go. Johnson says no matter how you cut it, flood protection is essential.
And if you ever were to lose a flood fight like that, the impact on the local economy is devastating, and that would include the impact on all of our constituencies, which primarily are the hotels, but also bars and restaurants, also shopping. Pretty much anything anyone would spend money on is something that the CVB board would be concerned about.
More flood protection talk is happening tonight, not about the diversion, though. Engineers and city leaders are touring near the Red River in Fargo to get a look at impacts of a proposed levee and flood wall. They're doing a project walkthrough along the west side of University Drive from 58th to 64th Avenues South. More engineering is outlining the actual footprint of the proposed levee and what that means for nearby properties.
Time again for another restaurant report card. Tune in tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10 as Valley News Team's Christine Stanwood hands out another Clean Plate Award right here in Fargo. Find out which restaurant lives up to the test. And of course, big news out of Bison Camp today. NDSU head football coach Chris Kleiman saying starting quarterback Carson Wentz going to miss 6 to 8 weeks with a broken bone in his throwing wrist. Wentz was injured during last week's 24-21 home loss to South Dakota, but was able to finish the game. The injury was initially thought to be a sprain, but further testing today confirmed it to be a non-displaced fracture. Wentz will have surgery tomorrow. Stick around as Valley News Team's Beth Houle will have more on this story in
she'll
sports.
have a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Essentia Health is expanding, making it easier for you to get the services you need. Stick around for all the details.
And our lovely fall weather continues. Today we hit 70, normal highs of 54 and a normal low in the 30s. When will it feel more normal? I'll have details on just that coming up next.